You've been treating every morning like a test you have to pass, like the living is a burden and the joy is meant to last. Only after all the serious, only after all the hard. But what if all of this was simpler? What if life was never scarred by all the weight you added? What if it was always meant to be a beautiful adventure you came here just to see? Not a punishment, not a proving, not a ladder you must climb, just the glorious experience of being here in time. You came here to play, not to suffer and to prove. You came here to play, just to live and love and move through everything this world is offering, through everything it brings. You came here to play, and joy is what that means. The child who plays completely never asks if it is worth it. The child just reaches forward to the next delightful surface. And somewhere in the growing up, you learn to call it work. But the ones who keep the playing are the ones who find the spark. So put the heavy measuring down, put the grading out of sight. You came here for the living, and the living feels so right. You came here to play, let the joy lead the way. You came here to play every ordinary day. Everything that's truly wonderful was built from someone's joy. You came here to play, deploy. The business and the music and the art and all the rest were the playing of a soul who simply gave its best. Not from obligation, but from pure delight. You came here to play, and everything came right. You came here to play. Remember that today. You came here to play. Don't let the joy slip away. Every gift you have been given, every talent, every skill, you came here to play. And you always, always will. What you really want. You've been reaching for the things that someone else decided were the things worth having, were the goals that should be guided by the world outside of you, by the voices and the noise. And the warning has been heavy without any of the joys. What if the reason nothing comes to the hand that's reaching out? Is that what the hand is reaching for? Isn't what the heart's about? Know what what you really want, not what they told you to. Know what you really want, the one that's truest to you, the wanting that comes from the deep place, from the quiet underneath. Know what you really want and watch the world beneath your feet begin to rearrange. The ones who seem to have it all, who draw it without trying, are the ones who know themselves so well. Their wanting and their flying is in perfect alignment with the truest, deepest core. Know what you really want, and then you always get more. Sit in the quiet long enough to hear the real desire, not the borrowed and the second hand, but what lights your inner fire. Know what you really want, not what the world suggests. Know what you really want. Forget about the rest. The truest wanting always lands when the asking is sincere. Know what you really want and watch it all appear. The gap between the wanting and the having is so small when the wanting is authentic, when it comes from deep in all that you are in the quiet, when the noise has gone to sleep. Know what you really want and the promise you will keep. Know what you really want, it's simpler than you think. Know what you really want, you're closer than the brink of everything you've been working toward, everything you came to do. Know what you really want, and it already knows you. You've been apologizing for the way you cannot stay in one place for too long before you're moving on your way to the next thing that is calling, to the next horizon line. And the ones who love the settled say you're doing something wrong, but the river doesn't apologize for the way it finds its course. The water doesn't hold itself at any single source. Let yourself flow, that's the nature of who you are. Let yourself flow, from near and traveling far, from this work into the other, from this place and to the next. Let yourself flow, and don't make it more complex. The ones who stay in one place have their beauty, have their peace, but the ones who keep on moving have a different kind of release into everything the world holds, into everything it brings. Let yourself flow through all the ordinary things and the extraordinary, and the ones you've never known. Let yourself yourself at home. The gifts you give each stop and place, however briefly you are there, are the gifts of someone passing through who genuinely cares, and then moves on when it is time to where the next need waits. Let yourself flow through the open gates. Let yourself flow. Stop fighting what you are. Let yourself flow. You were never meant to stay so far from the moving and the changing, from the living that you crave. Let yourself flow, and let the love cascade. The water that keeps moving stays the freshest and the clear. The water that stops flowing is the water that we fear to drink from. Let yourself flow. It's how the living works. Let yourself flow through the joys and through the hurts. Let yourself flow. You were built for this. Let yourself flow. Don't miss a single thing the movement brings, a single door it shows. Let yourself flow and watch where the river goes. You picked up the brush one morning and you painted what was true. Not the past and not the future, just the light that filtered through. And the flower that appeared there in the colors of the now didn't need a long explanation, didn't need a question how. You called it this moment, and the naming felt exactly right, because the only thing that's real now is the living in this light. This moment is the title of the life you're living here. This moment is the title. It's the only one that's clear, not the yesterday that's over, not the tomorrow not yet seen. This moment is the title. This is where you've always been. The memory of the hard things lives a little further back, and the worry of tomorrow is a little further ahead on track. But the beauty and the breathing and the love that's really true, this moment is the title, and the moment is enough for you. So paint it like you mean it. Paint the light that's here right now, the flower and the moment and the joy beyond the how. This moment is the title. Write it large and write it clear. This moment is the title. Everything you need is here, in the ordinary breathing, in the ordinary day. This moment is the title. Love it all the way. This moment is the title. Live it all the way through. This moment is the title. It was always made for you. All the past was built into it. All the future starts from here. This moment is the title, and it's beautiful and clear. You've been listening to everyone around you and beyond. You've been tuning to the frequencies of every other song. And somewhere in the listening to all the voices not your own, you forgot the one that matters most, the quietest one you've known. The sabbatical you gave yourself, the music and the art, were the learning to be quiet enough to hear your heart. Learn to listen to yourself before you listen to the rest. Learn to listen to yourself. You already know what's best. The answer you've been looking for in every other voice. Learn to listen to yourself. It's always been your choice. The noise is very useful for the things that noise can teach, but the deeper knowing lies a little further than its reach. In the quiet of the morning, in the stillness of the art, in the painting and the music, in the opening of the heart. You forgot because the world is loud, and the world is always there, with opinions and directions and an endless list of where you should be going, what you should be doing, who you should become. Learn to listen to yourself and let the quiet come. Learn to listen to yourself. It will never steer you wrong. Learn to listen to yourself. You've known the truth all along, the wisdom that you're looking for in every teacher, every book. Learn to listen to yourself. That's where you need to look. Give yourself the sabbatical, the art, the music, and the still. And in the space you give yourself, you'll find the voice you will follow for the rest of your days with absolute clear trust. Learn to listen to yourself, because you must. Learn to listen to yourself. The voice is very clear. Learn to listen to yourself. You have so much left to hear from the wisest voice available, the one that's always true. Learn to listen to yourself. It was always you. Mm-hmm. before you found it. You described it to the page, and then you found it standing there like it had been there for ages, waiting for the one who'd drawn it, waiting for the mind that knew that the drawing and the finding are the same thing coming through. People say it's complicated, people say it doesn't work, but you know from the experience that the drawing never shirks its responsibility to manifest when the wanting is sincere. Drawing is believing, and the house was always here. Drawing is believing, what you see becomes the real. Drawing is believing, it's not something you must feel before you see the evidence. It's the other way around. Drawing is believing, and the drawing finds the ground. The ones who say it doesn't work are drawing what they fear, are drawing all the obstacles, are drawing not quite clear on what the true desire is beneath the surface. Ask. Drawing is believing. Take off the doubtful mask. You know yourself so thoroughly, you know the genuine want, and so the drawing matches it, and so the findings font is always overflowing, always running to your door. Drawing is believing, and believing brings you more. Drawing is believing, know what you truly need. Drawing is believing, plant the most authentic seed, and watch the world rearrange itself around the clearest ask. Drawing is believing. Take off the doubtful mask. The home, the work, the person, the life you wanna live, we're always being built by what you asked and what you give. Of your truest, clearest wanting, of your most authentic side. Drawing is believing, and the drawing got it right. Drawing is believing, you already know this truth. Drawing is believing, the world was made for you to draw upon. It's infinite, to ask and to receive. Drawing is believing, all you have to do is believe. Wake up with them coming before the coffee's even done, before the day has started. Another 101 ideas for the living, ideas for the world, ideas for the things that haven't yet been built or been unfurled. And people look at you and wonder how the well doesn't run dry, and the answer is it never does. And here is simply why: 200 ideas, and they're only just beginning. 200 ideas, and the world is always winning when someone brings this much to the ordinary day. 200 ideas and more on the way. You don't search for the creativity, it simply finds its home in the space between the waking and the place the mind will roam. And one of them is always the one that has to go first into the world, to let the rest of them know that the door is always open, that the welcome is always there. 200 ideas, and everyone is ready. So stop the apologizing for the way the mind wants to. Every overflowing idea was the universe sending you its fill of what needs to exist here, of what's missing from the page. 200 ideas for this extraordinary age. 200 ideas, they are all worth the time. 200 ideas, all of them sublime in their own particular moment, in their own particular way. 200 ideas, bring one of them today. The first one that you offered hit the world and lit a fire, and everyone that follows will build the flame still higher. 200 ideas, and you're only getting started. 200 ideas, holding open-hearted, every single one a gift to the world that needs to see. 200 ideas, and number one set you free. Never quite fit in the spaces that were built for ordinary size. You always overflow the edges, always took the others by surprise. Not because you tried to be more, not because you wanted the attention, but because the thing inside you was simply too large for one dimension. Not one drop but the ocean, not one light but the sun, not one soul but the collection of everything that's ever been begun. Bigger than one container, bigger than one name, bigger than one container. And you came here all the same, to this small and beautiful vessel of this one particular life. Bigger than one container, but you fit the light just right. The leaders and the visionaries who recognized your depth were not confused by the bigness, they You just felt it in their breath, the way you fill the room completely, not with ego, but with knowing, bigger than one container, and still somehow overflowing. So stop trying to compress yourself into the regular size box. The one who built the container didn't design it for your docks. Bigger than one container, let it all expand. Bigger than one container, more than anyone had planned. But exactly what was needed, exactly what the world requires. Bigger than one container, and setting everything on fire with the love and with the knowing and the gift of who you are. The universe sent something special, wearing ordinary skin, and the specialness keeps overflowing from the outside and within. Bigger than one container, and that's perfectly fine. Bigger than one container, and the overflow is divine. Every gift you've ever given, every life you've ever touched. Bigger than one container, and the world needs you this much. There's a blue and burning something that arrived within your space, full of life and full of movement, and it wouldn't hold its place. It was moving far too quickly for the ordinary eye, but you felt it in your body, felt it burning, passing by. Not every visitor announces what it came to do or be, but the ones who feel it clearly know the gift they came to see. The blue planet came, alive and on fire. The blue planet came, burning higher and higher, with the energy of something that has traveled very far. The blue planet came like a fast and brilliant star. The life force in the moving is the thing that changes rooms, the energy of something living, fully always blooms. And the one who brings this fire into every ordinary space makes the world more possible, makes it a more beautiful place. You felt it recognize you, felt it say, I know your kind. Two forces that are similar in their endlessly alive mind. The blue planet came to say you're not alone. The blue planet came to say welcome home to the ones who are the fire and the movement and the light. The blue planet came, burning beautiful and bright. Not every gift arrives quietly, some arrive with a blaze. Not every sign is subtle, Some set the whole sky ablaze with the knowing and the certain that the life force never ends. The blue planet came, and it always comes again. The blue planet came, and it found what it sought. The blue planet came, and it brought what it brought. The reminder that the living is the most extraordinary thing. The blue planet came, and watch what that can bring. Most people wait for permission. Most people wait for the sign that it's safe enough to venture, that the timing is just fine. But you heard the call from somewhere far beyond the ordinary man, and you went without the safety, and you didn't look back. Not reckless, not unthinking, but responsive to the pull of a life that keeps on calling, and a heart that keeps it full. Africa called and you went. The world called and you went. Every open door invited, and you went, and you went. Not waiting for the certainty, not waiting for the ground. Africa called and you went, and look what you have found. The ones who wait for perfect are the ones who miss the most. The ones who move when called to are the ones who love the coast of every new horizon, every unfamiliar shore. Africa called and you went, and it opened every door. The 20-somethings saying yes to what the world was offering was the beginning of a life that kept on blossoming into everything it is now, into everything it'll be. Africa called and you went, and the going set you free. Africa called and you went. The adventure called and you went. Every unexpected chapter, and you went, and you went. With your 200 ideas and your fire and your art, Africa called and you went. With your whole extraordinary heart. The ones who never answer when the call comes loud and clear miss the life that was available when the invitation's here. So answer when the world calls, go when the door is wide. Africa called and you went, and the whole world opened wide. Africa called and you went, and everything came true. Africa called and you went, because the call was built for you. Every yes you've ever given to the life that wanted more. Africa called and you went, and love was at the door.